Welcome to I Feel Fat Today. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Friday. Pleasure to be here. We made it, guys. We made it through the week. Okay, subscribe to us on YouTube at I Feel Fat Today. Go there, like and comment on the episodes. Go to our YouTube for full video episodes. Then head over to Apple Podcasts to rate and review the show there. Follow us on social media at I Feel Fat Today, and then you can follow me, your host. Hello, this is Kelly. Thank you, guys. We made it. We're here at the end of the week. Why am I not looking at the camera? Sorry. Feeling very disconnected at the moment. Okay. What I want to talk to you this week about is I actually found a Reddit thread that I want to discuss. I really enjoy going onto Reddit and having questions asked or, reading about random stuff. Obviously, Reddit has always been fun. And, okay, Finn. And, I know that there's a lot of podcasts who go on Reddit and read threads from there. And so I'm not trying to be a copycat. It's just what I'm doing. And the reason why I did is because it piqued my interest, and I think it's very much like of the vein of the podcast, and I wanted to talk about it. Okay, so this thread is from No Stupid Questions, and the post is, my 10-year-old son is a little overweight. When my son was riding the scooter with me, the neighbor shouted, "Wow, he's big. You don't have to feed him for a month." And my son said, "What does that mean? Don't feed me for a month?" How do you respond to your son and your neighbor? And I wanted to read this because I don't have a specific instance that I can, recall, but I definitely have moments where I remember this happening throughout my life. Like, I can't conjure up a specific instance. I feel like the memories of this happening will come up when I do more somatic experiencing therapy, because I remember a lot of stuff. Like, I've never gone into a therapy where the therapist was like, we're going to do this and then you're going to remember stuff from your childhood. And because I hear about that, and I feel like the thing is always like, well, do I really need to find out if I was molested? I don't think I need that. But that's not what's happening for me. For me, it's it's just bringing me more clarity to things that I already knew. Also, I was molested. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, we're going off the rails. Okay. No. So the reason why I brought that up was because, to say my memories are kind of hazy from when I was a kid, but I definitely have instances where I remember my weight being called out, and I don't remember, I feel like any instance where that happened, it just immediately followed with me crumbling into tears and then going to my parents about it and being upset. So I wanted to read the responses here because I thought that everyone's different takes was really interesting on how they would handle the situation. And I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know, how this should be handled, but I just wanted to go through these to just go through people's thought process when posed with a question like this. Okay. This person said, you confront your neighbor non-violently, but firmly in front of your son, and he, the alpha male, lead by example. Explain to your son he was a bully, but you stood up to him, and because bullies are cowards and don't like that. That's the kind of advice that if I feel like I were given, I would be like, you're the lamest person ever. Again, I don't know what the right way to handle a situation like this is, but I just thought that was a very lame answer. Next person said, neighbor was rude but right. Not his place to say such a thing, but you and your son need that. Life will only get harder for him from here, and you're to blame. That's a nice comment compared to what people will say to him in his life of being obese. Get your son on a diet. Get active with him. You get on a diet too, so he's not going in alone. As far as your neighbor, tell him to fuck off. Have your husband tell him if he ever says some shit like that again, he'll fuck him up. But please, please help your son for Christ's sake. So that person took, I felt, a very interesting, stance, and was very much assuming a lot about these people, and being very demeaning and tough love, I guess. The third person said, just tell your son the neighbor is being silly and let him forget about it. Your neighbor, it depends. Are they known for being a bit of an asshole, or are they just a harmless elderly person? If they are old, let it go. If they're an asshole, tell them you don't appreciate their comments. I thought that was a very diplomatic, sane way of handling it. And then this person said, very simple. Pour your sugar into your neighbor's gas tank and then beat his ass with the McDonald's to-go order filled with soap bars. Then you focus on your son's health. It's a very non-violent, healthy way to handle a situation like that. I don't know what the right answer is. Yeah, I thought that was a fun thread. I'll put it in the show notes so you can take a look at it. People are crazy. It's like at this point I'm just reading a post with mean comments on it, but I don't get it. People are nuts and they hate fat people, and that's the way it is. Okay, this episode is really fun. My guest is really a great friend, really funny comic. Him and I talk about just our sort of trashy roots that I don't really even think are that trashy. I think they're very normal. I think I feel like trash is a term of endearment. Like, I have no ill will about it, and I think it's very funny. And it's really fun to get together with somebody who has some shared experiences and understands the things that I say, and also can call me out on some of the absurdity of what I think is normal, because they're like just as close to my kind of upbringing that they also had. Okay, going right into it, please welcome my guest for this week, the very funny Rich Happel. Hello. It's the Finnegan Show. We're here doing it.
We're doing it.
Rich Happel, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, dude. Oh, man. Last time I saw you, well, actually, no, this isn't true, but I just want to bring up my birthday. Thank you for coming to my
thank you for the invite.
Birthday party. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You came under funny circumstances, we'll say.
Oh,
you had some treats beforehand.
Yeah, I was going to shout out who gave them to me, but that's a federal crime. But yeah, well, listen. Here's the thing. Mushrooms. Speaking of which,
there we go.
Look at that. Speaking of which, we got a cat.
Yes, we do have a cat. I should have told you that beforehand.
Okay, I love this. Yes. So I'm still new to the shroom game.
Yes.
There, Kels.
Yeah.
So, I've been chipping away at a chocolate bar.
Oh, yeah.
And I was feeling nothing from the chocolate bar.
The worst.
So my cleaning lady was going, no big deal, got a cleaning lady.
Whoa.
I have $100 to spare a month.
Wow.
And I am that lazy. And I was like, you know what? Let me get rid of these last two pieces. I'm not feeling anything anyway.
Yeah.
Throw them right into my ass. And yeah, they had all the shrooms off the bar.
They just all congealed on one end.
So I got to the subway and then I was like, why does it feel like the trains are not moving, but the world's moving? I was like, oh, it's because I had a shroom chocolate.
You said you're new to the shroom game?
I'm new, like May?
May? Okay. I like that we have like a start date.
The Blink-182 concert at Nassau Coliseum.
Okay, awesome.
Or whatever, UBS Arena.
Yeah.
Is what it's called now.
Oh, that's what it's called now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right? Yeah. No, Nassau Coliseum's still there. You trash bags know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, did it at a Blink concert.
Wow. That's a good time to do it.
Fantastic time to do it. So, ever since then, I've been big into the game.
Nice. I like it. You know what I like about shrooms is it can be, unless you experience what you experienced, it can be a very light, nice, just sort of mood elevator.
Yes.
That causes me to not chug beers down my throat. For some reason, there's something about shrooms where it's like, maybe it's because like it kind of messes with your stomach that like I can have just like a few drinks, you know.
I think that's just beers now.
Oh, you think that's just beers?
I have a whole theory that beers increase the yeast in them.
Oh.
That's my big theory.
Okay,
I have no science to back this up.
Okay, but I really like this theory. Let's hear it.
And it has nothing to do with me getting older.
Right.
It has all to do with beers changing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
This is so let's put an asterisk right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had 3 beers on Saturday. I couldn't move after.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes I feel like, oh, okay, like I'll hang out, like I'll stick with beer because it's like light and easy. There's something about beers as of lately where I'm just like, oh, my stomach can't handle it.
Yeah, and again, it has nothing to do with us.
Right. It has nothing to do with us being in our 30s.
All I know is that I could have 30 tequila sodas and feel fine the next day.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Totally. I hear it.
And low-cal tequila sodas.
They are low-cal. Are you mindful of that when you drink?
Oh,
Cal?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of.
For the first few, and then I'm like,
And then it's like,
fuck.
yeah.
I'm getting a quesadilla, fuck you.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah. I haven't had a Jack and Coke since Nixon was in office.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time. I try to I was thinking recently about like things I used to drink in college, and I don't really know why I would drink certain things. Like, why would I ever order a Jack and Coke?
Deals. That's why.
Deals. That's so true.
That's it.
Rolling Rock Wednesdays.
Yes.
$2 Rolling Rocks.
Yes. Thursday nights, 2-for-1s, Jim Beam and Cokes.
Oh, God.
Drank that for 3 years. Threw them right in my ass.
That just made me feel so uncomfortable physically, emotionally. Like I don't feel safe.
And then I told my parents I've been doing that. And then for Christmas one year, my mom got me a candy cane filled with Jim Beam.
Oh
Nips.
my God. Okay.
That's garbage.
My mind went the total other way. I was like, she got you like the Alcoholics Anonymous, like big book or something.
No, my parents are like old school, like how they approach drugs.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like, because on my pod, the Happel Hour, shout out every Monday at 5 a.m. Check it out. If you're in the feed especially.
Hell yeah.
So like, they hear me talk about shrooms there, and they're like, you're going to kill yourself.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing taking those? And they'll tell me this as they're driving drunk.
Yeah.
My dad had 5 White Claw surges, drove after and was like, what are you doing with those shrooms?
Oh
I was
my
like,
God, that's
put your hands on the
amazing.
wheel.
That's so funny, and I so get that.
Yes.
And they're Long Island.
Yeah, Queens originally, and now Long Island.
Now Long Island.
Yeah.
Long Island is really went to retire.
Yes, and they aspired to move even further out east.
Yeah.
That's the goal of Queens and Brooklyn trash.
Is to move.
You want to go as far east as possible, but not Europe.
Totally. Got it.
That's the
yes.
goal.
Yes. That's amazing.
What's the cat's name?
This is Babastus.
Babastus.
Yeah.
How old's Babastus?
Like 12.
Oh, well, I
know.
guess 12 makes sense. How long do cats live?
Forever.
Do they?
Yeah,
They're like
they
parrots?
can. Kind of. Like this guy has no signs of slowing down. And when we got him, I was like, I'm not going to have him very long because he was old when I got him. Jesus Christ, Finn. You love stepping on my computer. Yeah, he was old when I got him. And I think he was living out just being a wayward soul in Paterson, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Frostbitten, hit by cars, just a mess that I think living here has like rejuvenated him and given him many more years.
Jesus, like Fetty Wap cat.
Yes, he's a Fetty Wap cat for sure. Yeah.
Is that a brand of cat, a breed of cat, which is something I recently learned exists.
Really?
I didn't know there were different breeds of cats.
Oh yeah. There's different breeds. I have no idea what he is. I think he technically is just what is called domestic short hair, which could just mean like it just
that's mutt. That's the
that's
mutt
a
of
mutt.
cat.
Yeah. Speaking of, this mutt is about to freak the fuck out. They're probably gonna get into a fight.
Is he's a mutt?
Yeah, he's an amalgamation of a few things, but the overarching ones is Pug and Pomeranian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like one of those little Chinese dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon dogs.
He looks like a Pekingese, but he's not, because I know what you're talking about. He's also part this dog Brussels Griffon, which are the cutest dogs ever. So he has a lot going for
Brussels
him.
Griffon sounds like a porn star.
A cute porn star.
Very.
Do you have any interest in having pets?
I had a dog growing up.
You had a
Oreo.
dog growing up. What kind of dog?
Mutt.
Just a mutt.
From the North Shore Animal League. Shout out to him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Adopted her. Lasted,
Nice.
I don't know, 11 years?
Oh,
Something like that.
okay.
Not bad.
Yeah. And did your parents get another one?
No. They didn't want that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you the
And
one that pushed it?
Me and my sister.
Okay.
Like, get a dog.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
else has a dog. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And they're like, fine.
I love it.
And now it's dead.
Now it's dead.
What are you gonna do?
Natural causes?
Or Hurricane Sandy, depending on who you
Oh,
ask.
no. Did it get into something like that it shouldn't have?
No, it was just old around the same time.
Oh, right.
But my
The
parents would be like,
stress.
the fucking hurricane killed the dog.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I think
Yeah.
it was just old.
They claimed how many people and one dog?
Only
Probably
one dog.
probably more than one
Yeah.
dog. Let's be real. Hurricane Sandy was. Where were you in your life during Hurricane Sandy?
Cortland, New York, my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
So I stayed up there and missed the whole thing.
Yeah, I was in northern New Jersey my sophomore year of college, and boy, were we just inconsiderate in the way that we treated that time off from school. And
Oh, you got time off?
yeah, because it was just like, oh, the hurricane's coming, like it's gonna hit the state, we're in a state of emergency. So like we just, no classes were happening for like a week and a half, and it was going into Halloween. It was this time of year.
Yes.
And so we just partied non-stop in the dorms. And then you kind of like wake up after all the Halloween parties and everything, and you turn on the news and you're like, oh my God, like people lost their lives.
Oh, it didn't touch you?
No, it didn't even, like, it didn't touch us.
Is there anything better than getting off for a tragedy and it doesn't affect you?
I know.
That's nice.
Obama did go to my hometown, though, of Saraville.
Oh,
To
they
pop
probably
in
were
because they got
pissed.
fucked up. They were
It's like, get this fucking Democrat out of town.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't need your help.
literally. Yeah. So yeah, that was that. Sandy, gosh, memories. Okay, let's talk about you.
Okay.
So I'm not mistaken in saying you were a fat kid, right?
Yeah, but adolescent.
Adolescent.
Young adults.
Okay,
Yeah.
so were you just like a fat kid until like you were like in your teens?
Yeah, until like, yeah. I was at the heaviest 320. That was like
320?
junior year, going
had-
into my junior year.
I had no
Of high
idea.
And then lost a little bit of weight going into senior year. And then college, first month, I lost 60 pounds.
Wow. What brought on the losing a couple pounds going into your senior year?
Oh, you want to have a fun little story?
Yeah,
That's
let's
a fun
hear it.
little story. So my town is big. It's a big lacrosse town.
Okay.
Syosset, New York, not the brag. And I played lacrosse, and if you're familiar with lacrosse, not lacrosse, but our town has lacrosse day,
Okay.
where it's like all the youth teams play, and then the headliner is the varsity team scrimmages.
Got it.
So it's the scrimmage. I get the ball at one side of the field, and I run halfway, and I can't breathe. So I run off the field. I call a sub in, and the head coach, this is in front of like 3,000 people,
Yeah.
probably 2,500 people. He was like, Happel, why'd you get off the field? I was like, oh, coach, I'm out of breath. He goes, yeah, it's because you're such a fat fuck.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, oh, the guy's right.
Yeah.
The guy has a point. So I started just losing weight
Yeah.
from there. And I went back like a year later. And I was like, I want to say thank you because that kicked my ass into
That's what got.
shape. And he's like, I didn't say that.
You
And my mom was with me. She was like, no, you said it.
Yeah,
I
you-
was there.
yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think I said that. Look at John Calabria has a couple few lawsuits against him. You can look into that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. That's amazing.
They're going to kick him out of the program. He was like
Really?
one of the best high school lacrosse coaches in the country. But, yeah, this was a few years ago.
His methods were abrasive.
Which they work.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Bullying works.
Yeah, bullying does work.
We need to bring back bullying.
I think it's alive and well. Have you been on TikTok?
Clearly not enough. There should be more bullying on TikTok then.
Well, I think that there should be bullying in the way that we know it. Like, well, also I think bullying works for guys. Like, I think the way that that coach was able to connect with you, like, I don't know if that would work for a girl.
Or is it that girls need to get better at bullying?
I would, again, argue that women are better at bullying, but we're way more covert and, like, ruthless. You don't think?
You're definitely more indirect.
Yes.
You use a lot of Morse code in your...
Yeah. It's more like mind assassination.
Right. Yeah, you're doing cyber
Yeah.
attacks rather than physical attacks.
Right.
Which, I don't know. I like just an old school, you're fat,
Yeah.
you're gay, change
And
it.
set you straight kind of thing.
Right.
So was that the first time that, like, was it the fact that it was an adult that was like, you're a fat fuck, like, do something, well, not do something about it, but was that the first time that an adult had pointed out the fact that you were fat?
Oh, no.
No.
When you're that fat, people...
Commented all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah, you know what? The guy's got a point.
Yeah.
We got to really get this all together,
This is
huh?
when it was like affecting you. You were like, okay, I can't make it down the field.
Well, it always affects you.
Right.
But it was just like, I think you're just old enough. Yeah, what are you as a junior? 16?
Yeah.
Where you're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
really get this under control, huh?
Totally.
The guy's making a point.
Yeah. And it's
So-
good that you did. It's good that you did.
For the health.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So growing up as a kid, it just was sort of like this steady weight gain until like 16 you decided to drop some weight.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And were you so it's you and your sister with mom and dad?
I have a younger sister, 3 years younger than me, and then my parents.
Okay. Were you the only fat one?
Oh no, they're all huge.
Oh, you come from a fat family.
My dad's over 400 pounds.
Okay.
My mom's probably like about 200. She's 5'2", 5'3".
Okay.
My sister also.
Okay.
So my sister's not as big, but
Right. You come from a lineage of fat.
fat.
Really?
Yes.
Grandpa fat
Huge.
and Italian descent? What are
Zero
you?
Italian. I just sound like this.
I know. Okay. So people think I'm Italian as well, which I'm not.
Yes.
Um,
You're Irish.
Irish. And what are you?
My mom's Russian. My dad's German, Irish, Polish.
Okay, just an amalgamation of white.
Yeah, just Queens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out where the fatness comes
It's
from.
working class.
Working class.
I've thought about this as well. Ken.
Yeah.
It's
let's hear
about
it.
lower middle class is fat.
Yeah.
Because there also another factor. I can't speak for you. Did your mom cook?
It was like she worked.
Okay.
So she cooked, yes, not every meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she a good cook?
No.
No. Yeah. No. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine to say.
I know, like I don't even think she listens to this, and like it's not that she's never cooked a good meal. Like she definitely has cooked some really good stuff, but like I would say, moreover, once she discovered the crock pot, the quality of the meals really went down.
Once boomer parents discovered the crock pot,
This is triggering me.
that changed bad meals forever.
Forever.
Because my mom is a big crock pot lady. She still hasn't realized. How long has the crock pot been out? 15 years?
Yeah.
No, probably.
Yeah.
She still doesn't realize she's overcooking every single thing
It just
in
doesn't
it.
make any sense. It's
I
like,
would-
there's a low setting.
Even the low setting. My mom will she wakes up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
She'll put all the meat and the
Yeah.
sauce in there, get back home at like 5.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, it's been on all day. It
Right.
shouldn't be on all day.
Right.
That's
it's
why
like it's
everything
cooked for
tastes bad.
13 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my mom also doesn't believe in seasoning.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's very bland.
Because I have a crock pot and my meals are immaculate and delicious.
What are you making in there?
I love a soup.
A soup.
Making lots of soups.
You're making soups in a crock.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I love a soup in a crock. And I wondered, I was like, why are my meals so good and my mom's meals so bad? And then I realized it was because she doesn't put even like salt in it.
There's no salt, no pepper in any of the food.
Here's what happens with the crock pot.
Fill me in.
We went from having a bunch of different things separate on a plate without any flavoring. And this is for our brand of white that I'm talking
This
about.
is you're also lower middle class,
Yeah.
trash white.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll tell you,
Yes.
the more money my mom has made as she's gotten older, the thinner she has gotten.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, lower, middle, whatever, working class. And so the food was separate on your plate, had no seasoning. Then the crock pot came about, and it just became a mush of all those things that were once separate on our plate.
Yes.
The carrot, the beef, the celery, the onion. Now it's all just in the same mush in like a brown gravy sauce concoction.
No one knows what it is.
No one knows what it is.
No.
And it got in there in powder form.
Oh, you guys use a powder.
Yeah.
That's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I feel like, Rich, you and I have a conversation, and I open up about things like things in my life, and you're like, wow, that is so garbage.
Because I relate. It calms my soul.
I really like you calling it out because I feel crazy otherwise. Like, I feel like, not that I think that should be normal or that is normal, that people like put, powder forms of food, like space food, basically.
So many things were in powder form. Kelly, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What was the powder iced tea scenario at your house?
Okay.
Yes.
So, the powder iced tea.
Powdered iced tea played a gigantic role from 1993 until 2011 for me.
I would say that's an accurate estimate until my dad discovered sun tea. Where
the fuck is sun tea?
Where you put the tea bags in water and it sits outside in the sun.
Elliot Thompson, shout out to
I know.
Fill me in all about sun tea.
Yeah.
That's fucking garbage. That's some hippie garbage shit.
Yeah. So once we discovered that, we moved from the brand. I think it was like maybe it was a Walmart brand or like a ShopRite food brand.
ShopRite's all right.
I like ShopRite.
ShopRite's fantastic.
So when I was young, my mom shopped at Food Town. And my brother and I, my older brother and I, like, it's almost like we could telepathically, like, communicate to each other that this was a trash situation, but we were kids and didn't really know it was trash, but like knew it was trash.
Yeah.
And then we moved up to the ShopRite, and it was like, okay, I can breathe.
It's like something when you're born trash. You're kind of like a deer coming out of the womb. Like, you could just start walking.
Yeah.
But, like, in trash form. So, like, when your mom's like, we're going to Food Town, you're like,
yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah. They're not going to have the Dunkaroos there.
There are no name brand food. Also, you guys were getting name brand?
It depends. Dunkaroos were name
Really?
brand. Dunkaroos were name brand.
You guys were doing better than I thought.
Well, it went in waves.
Okay.
It went in waves.
Depended what your mom was bringing
I
in.
got to tell you, the two name brands that...
Yeah, just making sure. Hey, bud.
The two name brands that were consistent were Dunkaroos and Sips. Remember Sips?
Yes.
Sips were...
boxes.
The box.
Yes.
Those were consistent and
Sips
delicious.
were very important because they were always on sale.
Yeah.
So Sips were always around the house.
Yeah.
As well, and this is what my grandparents were big garage sales / like any sort of discount they could get.
Yeah.
And they would go to garage sales and buy diet soda from people.
That is so funny.
Garbage.
Yeah. That is garbage.
Did you ever buy diet mug root beer from a garage sale? I have.
That's a new level. Like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're not the Happel family.
Yeah.
That's the Hawk side, though. Shout out to him.
Damn. Were you close with both sets of grandparents? Were they around?
This is more trash than fat, what I'm going to say. My mom's parents were here in Queens and Maspeth. And then when I was born, my dad's parents, they came to the hospital, saw me, took a couple pictures, and they said, we raised you, now you raise yours. We're moving to Florida.
Oh, okay.
That's the exact line they said.
Whoa.
I mean, I was like, oh, wow, that's...
Yeah, see?
Yo, yeah.
Yeah. That actually was a really good depiction of the Middle Eastern conflict that is happening right now.
That's right, yes. That's right. That was a bit of a paragliding strike.
Oh, we had to get through the episode to bring it up at least once. Okay. I raised you, now you raise yours.
That's what. Yes.
Interesting.
That's a very selfish garbage approach to life.
That is a selfish garbage approach to life, and that is something that like I absolutely cannot relate to. Like the idea of grandparents not being excited about their grandkids is really foreign to me.
It's foreign to like average human beings.
Yeah.
Because you have like compassion and empathy,
Yeah.
and you want
Like,
to be near your family.
My mom's grandparent, my mom's parents.
Yes, maternal.
Sorry, I couldn't get it out. My mom's parents like kind of had like their own shit going on, so I didn't really know my grandpa on that side, but I was really close with my grandma Betty, her mom. Like we like lived next door. Like
You did
saw her
grandma
all the time.
first name.
Grandma Betty, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's different because it's like Grandma Betty, and I guess technically Grandpa Bill, but like didn't really know the guy, like only saw him a few times in my life.
Divorced?
They were divorced, they're both off the boat from Ireland, my grandparents.
Wow, divorced.
And that's how bad it got. Because my grandfather was almost sent to federal prison. So
can you legally say?
Yes, he's long dead now.
All right. That's fun.
My grandpa Bill, it's so funny because my best friend Allison, her dad worked for the New Jersey Path. And the Path train, if you don't know, is a train that goes into New York and from New Jersey into New York. So that's a way to get in. New York Path, New Jersey Path. And so I was talking to him and I was like, hey, my grandpa Bill used to work for the Path and like stole a bunch of money from them. Like, do you know of him? And he was like, your grandfather is Billy Milner?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He's like, that guy is infamous at the New Jersey Path. Like, we teach new hires about this guy because he stole the NJ him and a buddy rigged the turnstile because back in the day you like put a coin in.
Yes.
And got in. They basically rigged it so every other one would register. And so like if you put in a quarter, it went to NJ Path. If I put in a quarter right after you, it went to Grandpa Bill. Yeah. And so they did that for years.
Good.
And so the alcoholism got really bad. Yeah, got the alcoholism.
Was.
Yeah. It was bad. And
Off the boat Irish?
Yeah.
Was.
So my grandma was like, you gotta go. Like, I can't. And at that point, my mom was like 18 at that point. So it was, all right, the kids are teenagers. You know, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
And so that's what caused the divorce. And he got caught because he had a girlfriend after that and tried to like parent the girlfriend's kid as if like it was his own kid, like trying to give her curfews and stuff.
Such old school stepdad
mentality.
Yeah. I love it. Yes.
And she was like, really? No. And ratted him out. Yeah.
So he was going around town bragging.
I don't think he was bragging so much as the wrong people found out.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So, you know,
Was he fat?
No, very, very thin, the two of them. Very thin, the two of them. But then when I talk about grandparents that were involved in me and my siblings' life, we have my grandparents on my dad's side.
Yes.
Who were both thin, but my grandma has fat genes because she was probably over 300 pounds till she was about 18 years old and then dropped all the weight and suffered from raging eating disorders up until now.
Yep, I'm with you.
And it, you know, she very dutifully passed all that down to me. So like I have a Ballon body, like literally like the Ballons, like the hips, like just... If you look at like photos of like my ancestors on like the balance side, it's like we all are identical. It's in terms of like the way our bodies look. And so my grandma very much had that until she like I've only ever known her as a skinny grandma, but she was fat in her adolescence and that informed the rest of her life.
There's nothing better than a recovering fat.
A recovering fat is an interesting position to be in.
They're a good time. And I'm not... This is not me being biased as one.
I mean, yeah, you are one.
Yeah, it's a recovering fat because they know how to have fun.
Yeah.
And they'll select when to do it.
Yeah. Because a recovering fat is not the same as a recovering alcoholic. Because a recovering alcoholic can never go back to their vice. But a fat can.
A fat can. It's a dangerous game, though.
Yeah.
You know, spiraling. I'm currently in a spiral.
Are you?
I'm spiraling out right now.
What's the cause of that?
I don't know. I think you just get it. You form bad habits, and then you just stay with those bad habits. You're like, I gotta snap out of this.
Totally.
You're in some sort of pizza trance.
Yeah. I hear that. I totally hear that. I just want to go back to when you were in high school and you decided to lose weight. What was like were you just sort of, because by the time you're 16, you sort of have more of an autonomy of like what you're eating and what you're doing. At least I did. Like I wasn't looking to my parents for every meal. So did that kind of help you in losing weight? Because it's kind of hard when like your whole family's fat and like you have to be the one trying to.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
No one's from the age of like 15 on. I was kind of like, I'm the first person who's ever tried to lose, like really tried to lose weight.
Yeah.
People say they try to lose weight, but come on.
Yeah. They joined the diet plan. They've joined the gym, but they're not going.
Oh, my parents don't join a gym. No.
Yeah.
like I wanted to lose weight every morning, and I have a bit about this, as you know, where I legit did have 4 to 5 waffles every morning.
Right.
That's a real thing I did, but that was like, that's fine.
This is what you did.
So I was like, we got to change up the breakfast.
The serving size
What
really
are we
was
doing?
a suggestion.
No. What the solution here was my mom bought sugar-reduced syrup.
Okay, totally.
And she's like, all right, this is a good first step. I was like, I
Yeah.
think so. I think we're making good strides here. He was like,
We are the product of the early 2000s. I think this is what we're supposed to do.
nutrition just didn't exist.
It just didn't.
It just simply didn't exist. I played sports my whole life. Every kid would bring a water bottle, maybe a Gatorade. My dad would give me a liter water bottle full of instant iced tea.
No.
Like that. What?
Like, why not just give you a liter of water?
I would show up to hockey games. Like, you get onto the ice and you have your water bottle and your sticks with you. And at the time, I'm like, why isn't everyone doing instant iced tea water bottles? Oh, because you shouldn't do that. Because that's how you get diabetes, you fat fuck.
You literally were trying to give yourself diabetes.
There were arenas watching me do this for years, and no one stopped. They should have called the police.
Did you get like a nickname from being like
I had a
brisk
nickname
boy?
for hockey. I had a nickname Bumblebee
Bumblebee was that?
because I was 300 pounds but very fast.
Okay.
So it looked like I was buzzing around the ice. So one kid, Michael Goldstein, shout out to him, started calling me Bumblebee.
Oh, that's so funny.
I was like, that's pretty good.
And much like a bumblebee, if you overexert yourself, you will die.
That's true. I would just land on flowers and just kind of breathe heavy and go over here and breathe heavy.
That's amazing. That is so funny. Okay, liter of what powder iced tea did you drink?
I couldn't even tell. If you showed it to me, I
know
would.
that I know the smell and I know the taste.
I see the can. I just don't know what the brand was, but I see the can.
But the can looks like a container of breadcrumbs.
Kelly, you took the words right out of my mouth. And back in the day, I did not know the difference. So sometimes I would try to make the instant iced tea.
Yeah.
Put breadcrumbs in the water instead of iced tea. I just be eating a panko
really
water.
We're out of without a paddle there.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, that's so funny. So give me a rundown of the sports that you did.
You name it, I did it.
Okay.
I was like a very serious baseball player till like high school, and I was just like felt like a job, and I was like, okay, this is over.
So your weight wasn't a limit. Well, like you said it was, but like it wasn't a limitation. Like you weren't afraid to go into sports with your weight, or did you see it as like an asset?
Like I guess baseball was an asset because I could hit the ball pretty far.
Right.
I would assume physics.
You were a big kid.
Were involved with that. Hockey, the strategy was I just stand in front of the goalie.
Right.
And they would just take slap shots, and I would deflect the slap shots.
Yeah.
So it's more the coaches factored in my fatness.
Got it.
Rather than me approach the sport via fatness.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But did you play sports?
I did. I was a softball player.
Yes.
Yeah. And it served me well because I hit really far and I also was really fast.
First base?
Second.
Second?
Yeah. And
All
outfield.
right.
On the seasons I was off, I was outfield.
Okay. Second base is pretty good. That's a very athletic position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was all over. But I also even now as an adult, because it's so funny because the amount of working out I do is literally 20 minutes a day, which I honestly feel like that's all I need.
That's good.
Yeah, like that's all I really want to be doing right now. But even in that 20 minutes, I'm like, literally, there is something that happens in my brain where it's like I move so fast and I'm like, I really can, like, there's something about the mental part of it where it's like, I don't care if I physically feel limited. There's a zombie behind me and I gotta.
Oh, you're running.
Or I'm on a stationary bike, but like
That's
but in my head, I like literally think the thing is gonna get me, and so like I make myself, I don't know, make myself feel like I'm in danger. And so that's what I always did as a kid. Like when I would play sports, I'd be like, well, I have to catch this ball or my family's going to die. You know,
That's
I would
good.
like,
That's healthy.
I would do like shit like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you have anxiety disorders?
Yeah.
'Cause I would guess yes.
We're working through it. We're
Yeah.
working through it. Okay. I like your coaches would factor in your fatness. That's so funny.
You got to use what you got.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. So 16, you lose some weight, and then going into college, you lose 60 pounds. Can I ask what, well, I'm going to guess what caused you to do that. You wanted to date and get laid.
Well, that's a factor, but also more. Well, that was always a factor of why you want to lose the weight.
Right.
But kind of to your point where now you truly have control over what you could eat.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Especially my college, I went to like everyone there. It's a very athletic. A lot of just dumb jocks. That was the general consent. So everyone's hot.
Got it.
Everyone's dumb.
It wasn't just some like silly state school. Like kids liked sports.
And you had to like sports to go to that school.
Got it.
Shout out SUNY Cortland.
SUNY
No one's
Portland.
doing well, but boy, did we have a good time. And so, yeah, it was just like grilled chicken and broccoli. That's
Got
like
it.
all that was.
Yeah.
So I just lost the weight in like a month.
Yeah.
And I went home and my parents were like, "You look terrible." And I was
Oh,
I think I look great.
Yeah, okay, if I'm going to look at it as an armchair therapist, they were threatened.
"Oh, that's what it all is."
Yeah.
Could be that. Could be, I'm the first person in my family to work in the private sector.
Right.
And they,
You bum.
like, my parents don't ask me like, "How's work going?" They ask, "How's commission going?"
Oh, okay.
Because they think
it's
you're like,
so different.
because
Yeah.
to them they're like, "You'll never get it.
Right.
You're not gonna," because people lie.
Right.
People, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So that's the general theme
what
of my
line
family.
what line of government position did your parents have?
My dad's a cop.
Oh, okay.
Was a cop, retired NYPD, and his dad ran the Times Square post office.
We love a fat cop.
Love a fat cop. He has a mustache and everything.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're imagining.
Yeah.
That's him.
Damn.
My mom's a teacher,
Okay.
kind of.
Public school.
She ran a nursery school for a while, and now she's a TA at an elementary
Okay,
school,
got it.
watches little kids, special ed kids.
Got it.
Neither went to college or anything.
Yeah. Those are the jobs you get when you don't go to college.
Them be the jobs you get.
Yeah, absolutely. My parents, no post-college job because they didn't go to college.
Yeah.
My parents, no college job, were nurse and truck driver.
No, well, my grandfather was a truck driver. The other grandfather,
Yeah.
truck driver, but nurse has no college.
Well, you go to nursing school, like, because this was back in the 80s. Like, you go to nursing school, which is like a 2-year program. And I don't think at the time you needed your associate's degree. I think you literally just had to go to nursing school. Now, if you want to be a nurse, I think you need a bachelor's.
Yeah, bachelor's and
Yeah.
hours. It's a whole
it's
process.
a whole thing. But I'll tell you, kind of rags to riches. My mom now has her doctorate.
Isn't that a nice story?
Yeah,
Nursing?
nursing.
NP?
No, she didn't go for the NP. She's a what is it when you're a doctorate by writing papers, like
Oh, like an academic. An EDD.
It's like something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like clinical managing clinical effectiveness or some shit.
I
It's
have
like
an idea of what you're talking about.
yeah. So but technically she is a doctor because she did get her doctorate.
Okay, shout out to her.
Like when she makes a reservation at a restaurant, she can put Dr. Taylor. Which kind of all she cares about.
Oh my God, that's the worst type of person.
Like my mom will email me and first off, she doesn't email me often. The last time she emailed me, she goes, "Hey Kelly, this nurse I worked with, her son randomly died. So sad. Here's the obituary." Thank you for that. I don't know these people or that person.
Oh, fuck this kid.
So
I don't care.
that's what I get. But her email signature has her name and then like all these different acronyms of like CCRN, RN, like all these different things.
People in the medical field love putting letters
They
after their
yes,
name.
they love it.
They love it.
Every
it means
person-
nothing.
To them, it means everything.
It means the world.
It means nothing to me.
Because that's
But good for you. I love that for you.
that's the working class mindset also. Like, I have a master's degree in clinical exercise physiology because I was fat.
Oh yeah,
Scarred.
yeah. Oh yeah. I went to school for nutrition.
See?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't finish with that degree, but that's what I started.
Oh, what'd you get your degree in?
Fashion.
Love it.
Yeah.
What was I going with? So, wait, where was I going to go with
You got
this?
your graduate. You
Got
got
to
your
go. Oh,
master's.
yes, because I was like, this is kind of useless. Like, everything I'm doing here is kind of useless.
Yeah.
But my family's like, no, you're doing this because no one could ever take it from you.
Oh, yes. That has been told to me so many times.
I'm like, take it.
They can never take it from you.
Go ahead and take it.
Yeah.
It's useless.
Yeah.
Let
If
it take
this-
space in your attic.
If the student loan people want to relinquish my degree from me so I don't have to finish paying them, they
Well,
can
I got a
take
full
it.
scholarship.
Oh.
Not the brag.
How?
I'm smarter than most people
Oh.
on paper.
Wow.
But I also don't know like how bridges work.
You're scholarship smart.
Yeah, was a professor from the age of 21 to 22, then got a research position at Sloan Kettering from 22 to 24. I've been doing this ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you were a smart guy, but you're not pretentious.
Well, you can't be pretentious and sound like this.
Yeah.
That's a tough look. That's called South Brooklyn.
yeah. Oh man, that's funny. I forgot where. Oh yeah, they can never take it from you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Why does it matter?
yeah,
Take the degree.
yeah. I don't get it. I don't know. Okay, so you participated in sports. So now, like, because you were okay. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. My mind is jumping all over. So when you went to college,
Yep.
did you have an idea of like what it is that you wanted to study, or was it like more of that like fear of being fat again, like kind of like what made you go into, what was it, exercise science?
Exercise science, yeah. No, it goes to like no one in my family ever went to college. No one like knew what.
Okay,
So,
so,
like, I
you're
was
also you're first generation college.
First generation college, was raised, and this would be a good thing to ask you because you're also garbage.
Yeah.
We never. Did you ever talk about salary growing up?
No,
Not once.
not once.
Did
My
anyone?
mom doesn't know what I make.
It doesn't even matter about like knowing what you make. It's
Right.
more about like what is a good salary.
Oh no idea.
No one has any idea
No.
ever. Or like I was also raised all college degrees are the same and all colleges are the same. Both of those are lies too
Why did they tell us that?
because they didn't go. So obviously.
That's so true.
So one, I went to this high school, Syosset High School. I think I brought it up earlier. Arguably best public high school in the country.
Wow.
So my parents were like, "Oh, it's the best high school because you learn things no one else learns." Like they firmly believe that was
That's why
learning knowledge
Right.
no one in the world had access to.
Right.
When in reality,
The Da Vinci Code.
right?
Yeah.
No, I was just raised by a lot of like wealthy Jewish people.
Right.
And then they all networked, and that's how they all get jobs in the best companies.
Right.
That's why it's the best high
That's
school.
why. Right.
It's not because I went to college. I'm like, these fucking retards don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about. And I was like, oh wait, we all know the same. How do you all know what I know?
Yeah.
This isn't supposed to be. Oh, it's because it's just a public education.
Right. That's so funny. Wait, going back to what you said about not knowing salaries.
Yeah.
So I didn't know salaries either. I didn't know. I didn't even consider it. Like I didn't consider. I think part of it is because like both my parents were hourly technically,
Yeah.
and I also came from a family where like my mom was like, my salary can like keep this going, but like I need you to work for the state where even though your salary isn't going to be enough for you to support you by yourself, it'll give you really good benefits.
Kelly, you hit the nail right on the head. Poor people don't talk about salary. They talk about benefits. And more specifically, PTO.
Oh gosh. My dad is retired and still talks about PTO.
Garbage people love PTO.
Love.
They
Live.
hate
Live for
working,
PTO.
and they work for time off.
Yes.
There's nothing they love more.
And they guard their PTO with their fucking life, their whole chest. Like my mom, I remember I remember my dad complaining about the PTO he had to use for a family trip to Disney one year. That took my mom 2 years to plan because like I had to kind of grow out of the idea of like my friends being like, oh, in 2 months, like we're thinking about going to Barcelona. Like, do you want to come with us? I'm like, Barcelona? I need 2 years to plan for Barcelona. Like, that's like where.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And it's like, no, I could probably throw together, a cheap Barcelona trip, whatever. No, literally. And I remember being at Disney and my dad complaining about the fact that he had to use his PTO for this because he every year knows every single day, every single hour what it's going to go to.
Yes. They calculate it out.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know how to handle money, but they do know how to handle time.
How to handle time.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Very important factor.
Yeah.
That's why, and I might be talking, I'm telling them stuff they know. But if you're white trash, the best job possible, teacher.
Yeah.
They look at teachers like the rest of the world looks at surgeons.
Yeah.
They're like, you get a government salary, government benefits, you're off in the summer.
Summer's off.
You get summers off.
Yeah.
Don't you want to work? You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, but aren't you also poor?
Poor. You can't do anything with it. And when you do those summers off, you have to take side tutoring gigs or work the summer school to make ends meet.
But Kelly, salaries don't exist.
Yeah.
It's nice to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
I remember it. I miss it.
There you go.
I miss it very much. I'll tell you, I didn't, my first 2 jobs out of college, like real jobs, like not like being a lifeguard, like real jobs.
Right.
My salaries were like so low and like I didn't realize like that was not smart until finally, and they were like with really small companies. And finally in 2020, I got like a job where it was like with like a company and it's like 200 plus people, like a real company. So when I got hired, they, give you your salary and you always negotiate before you accept.
Were you raised not to do that?
Yes.
Yep. Same with me.
So I tell my mom, my dad, and my grandma and grandpa, I call them and I tell them and I'm like, oh, I think they offered me like 65.
That's great.
And I was like, I'm going to counter. I think they offered me 68. And I said, I'm going to counter with 75.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
Normal. Everybody. No. Don't be doing that.
Be grateful for what they offered.
Be grateful. You really need this job. You're
Yes.
unemployed. And I'm like, they're not going to take it away from me if I ask for more. Like, that would be crazy.
No, they firmly believe that.
They firmly believe that. And then when I told them that the PTO was unlimited, blew their fucking minds, which I kind of get because that blew my mind too. Where I was like, the concept of unlimited PTO came about like right when we were getting out of college.
It's also a scam, but
It's completely a scam.
for a different podcast.
For
That's
a different podcast.
That's
and
a
guess
huge
what?
scam.
Because it's a huge scam, I think it's something that the boomers would appreciate because there's nothing more a boomer likes or knows about than a fucking scam.
Boomers love scams.
And being scammed.
There's nothing they love more than being scammed.
Yeah.
Because they're a part of something.
And I'll tell you what, the major thing that my parents were scammed, private Catholic school. We got.
I can't speak to that.
We don't know what our salaries are. We are not putting seasoning in the school in the food
Or in the school.
But my goodness, are we writing a tuition check?
Yes.
Every month.
Why? Because we love Christ.
Because we love Christ, and according to my grandfather, public school teaches kids how to have sex. So
That's why those kids are cooler.
yeah. We got a little far off there, but I like talking about trash because, like I said, it makes me feel less crazy.
Well, it all like being trash and being fat. It's a Venn diagram.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a massive overlap there. That's why knowing about the trash history is very important for knowing about the fat history.
Absolutely. So, did you obviously, like you mentioned before, like, your parents weren't joining gyms or anything.
No.
Although my mom did join Curves. Was your mom's a Curves lady?
My mom didn't start exercising until the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Curves was a gym that was for ladies
Yeah.
of a certain age who were curvy. And you can go and like use an elliptical. It was kind of like
Yeah.
Planet Fitness before Planet Fitness.
I think it's Lucille Roberts spotted out if I'm not gay.
That's very gay.
Yeah, okay, well.
But so you know about Curves. But did you grow up in a house where it's like one day there's all you can eat sugar and then the next day there's Slim Fast bars
No.
replacing it?
We were going 100 miles an hour at all times.
Okay. There was never any even like attempt to try. Like mom never joined Weight Watchers.
Oh, you want to talk Weight Watchers? You want to talk about Weight Watchers?
Weight Watchers needs to be the official sponsor of I Feel Fat Today because the amount of stories my guests have about Weight Watchers. Let's talk about Weight Watchers.
Were you ever a 200-pound 11-year-old counting points in the lunchroom? Were you ever that kid? I was that kid.
Could you imagine having an app for that? No, not us. We had to have a cardboard thing that we used to figure out our points because you had to match the food up with the serving size to know what the points were, and it was on that like cardboard thing.
You know, like how our parents are like, kids these days don't know how to balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to think. Kids these days don't know how to count points through Weight Watchers.
Yeah. You mean you can't look at a food item and immediately be able to mentally calculate the points?
But here's the best thing. My parents would count the points, but that's it. Like,
That's
we
it?
wouldn't, like, adhere to the points.
Yeah.
Just
They
be
got-
like, you know how many fucking points I had today?
They got good at counting them.
So, like, I had so many points. I can't have that many points tomorrow. And they would.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah.
never ended.
It should look like, like a soccer game. But no, you look at my family's points. You're like, did the Knicks play the Raptors tonight? What the hell's going on here?
Oh, God. Did your mom go to the meetings?
In the beginning.
In the beginning. I always go in the beginning.
In the beginning. And
Yeah.
then, that fizzled out.
Yeah.
Quick.
Did you ever go to a meeting?
I've been to the building. I don't think I ever went to a meeting.
Oh, okay. Where you go and get weighed in and...
I never did that. I weighed in at home. She would
Yeah.
go to the meetings and then kind of run the house like
the meeting.
That's kind of how
Meetings
it worked.
are for girls.
Right,
Meetings are for
she's like,
girls.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. There was always like, I remember there always being like maybe one guy, and he was like a person that lost like 300 pounds. It was never like a fat guy at the meeting.
No, he was like the rock star.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he got all the Weight Watchers puss.
He got all the 55-year-old women in there. Like,
Yeah.
you see Nicholas?
Yeah. Nicholas looks great. Oh, that's so funny. So do you have any like weird food rules now? Like for me, like one bagel is 10 slices of bread.
I know you texted that to me.
Yeah. Do you don't have any of that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Do you just like, so now do you look at like eating like you just don't have unhealthy food in the house?
I don't have any food in my apartment.
You're not a cook.
I could if I need to.
Yeah.
But like I was home and I got a bag of pretzels because my family was like, everyone grab a snack. So I got this bag of pretzels.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, bring it home with you. I was like, oh, no, I can't have it in my, because I'll eat the entire
bag.
Because I have a very bad binge eating problem.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I can't have any food in my apartment.
Got
because
it.
then I'll eat everything.
Got it. So you know that about yourself, that like if you have it in the apartment, it's as good as done.
Right. Even like my mom's like, here are leftovers. I'll just throw it out.
Really?
Because I'll eat the whole thing in one sitting.
Okay. So how do you manage that now? You just do Grubhub and...
Yeah, basically. Or like my office has food.
Yeah.
So I'll eat there.
Office
like,
food gets me.
Like the snacks are a problem.
Yeah, the snacks in the office. I find myself, because I work from home, but when I do go into the office, I find myself getting up like after like every task. Like not even every hour. It's like every task. Like, time for a Diet Coke.
Yep.
Get back down. Oh, get a bottle of water. Oh, time for a Welch's gummy snack. Like
I'll have every one
constant.
of the healthy snacks.
Oh, it's constant.
That might be a rule.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if that's
yeah.
a rule, but like in my brain, I'm like, I gotta have one of the healthy snacks. Like
Yeah.
every single one every day.
And like, is the healthy snack like the granola bar?
Is
it
it's
pseudo
like
healthy?
Well, like I was like, you gotta get me, because they had Cliff bars. I was like, can you do me a favor? Can you get like RX bars?
Yeah.
'Cause they're
Let's
low-
class
less
it up
sugar
a bit.
and-
yeah.
listen,
a
you
Clif
got the
bar,
money.
Yeah, a Cliff Bar is like having a cookie.
I know.
I'd
I'll
rather
still
have
it.
I'd rather have a Snickers.
You know what's a big lie to me? Which I know is a lie, but I'll still do it. Lenny and Marcus.
Oh
cookies.
yeah. That's trash.
Yep.
But you love them.
Well, I just showed my parents Lenny and Marcus cookies, and they were
Yeah.
like, plant-based? What are you, gay?
Yeah. No, that's too
I was
gay.
like, all right.
Yeah. I remember I went home and I tried to cook like a mushroom risotto meal for my family.
You can't do that.
And they were like, "The fuck?"
What is this vegan shit?
Yeah. And
Go
it's
back
like,
to New York.
yeah, they're like, "There's no meat in this." For one.
Yes.
For two, we don't understand risotto, so that's not for us. So, and the
What's risotto? Gay rice?
yeah, literally, like
What I told my parents what we used to do every Sunday. My grandparents would drive in. We would do whatever. We would have a bagel for breakfast, pizza for lunch, Chinese food for dinner. That was every Sunday for 20 years.
that sounds amazing.
And until recently, like I told my parents, like, you guys got to stop eating Chinese food. Like,
yeah,
it's terrible
once a
for
week
you.
is a lot. We were a big Chinese food house. Yeah, at least once every 2 weeks. At least
Once every 2 weeks is a lot too.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. Yeah.
It truly blew their mind when I said it was unhealthy. Yeah. They're like, what are you talking about? It's chicken, broccoli, and rice. It's like bodybuilders. I was like, are you out of your mind?
But like the logic isn't wrong.
Look at you. The logic's wrong.
Yeah, but I could see why they would think like it's chicken, it's broccoli, it's rice. But they're not taking into account the sodium, which as you get older, the MSG, like the sodium when you get older is a factor. Like it's a big.
Sodium's a huge factor. General Tso's, that's so much sugar in the sauce.
Yeah. Oh,
They
so
don't
much
talk
sugar.
about that.
Yeah. And don't even like my parents. The most my parents could do is like Splenda and Equal in coffee.
Oh, yes.
But you better not even try to put anything less than whole milk in coffee. Everything else is really fucking
Really? You won't do 2%?
What?
You won't do 2%?
My mom will my mom will be like, I can deal with 2%. My dad, no, whole fat
Really?
milk. Yeah.
I like that guy.
Oh yeah.
I like his style.
Yeah. they don't fuck with that. I want to pivot. What did Halloween look like for you growing up?
What do you mean?
Like, were you costuming? Were you trick-or-treating? What candy were you most jazzed about?
Trick-or-treating happened. I don't know until when, probably like 13-ish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
12,
13.
13-ish.
I remember the year that I went a year over. I was like, oh, I might have been a freshman in high school.
Trick-or-treating?
Trick-or-treating.
That's a tough look.
Yeah. And I remember being like, oh, this feels different. Okay, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And me and my girlfriend just went home.
It's like going to a
we're like,
freshman
let's go
bar
on
now.
AIM. Yeah.
AIM.
Yeah, let's go catfish people on AIM.
Yes. Okay, well, we could talk about that on another podcast.
Because there were certain things that I listened to my parents on, and AIM was one of them. And I just remember my mom being like, I don't want you to have AIM. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, if I didn't know about it, I remember the first cell phone I got, I was like, I really don't want this. This feels like a responsibility. And so I never had my own AIM thing. I never cared about it. I never wanted one. But then I went to my friend Sherry's house.
Sherry.
And thank God for that girl, because she taught me that you can kind of break the rules and it's not the end of the world. Yes. And so we would sit on AIM together, just under her screen name.
What's her screen name?
I forget. I think it was something I think it might have been something like Sherry May. I think it was just her name.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we would just sit, and I remember there was one guy in our neighborhood that we talked to who was
Cutie?
Didn't
Cutie
know.
patootie?
I didn't think so.
Okay.
But he didn't know he was talking to teenagers.
Oh boy.
we made a MySpace account where we found this picture of an image off the internet and just made a MySpace for this person, added a bunch of people so it looked like they had friends and fully catfished.
Oh, you were a sad high school girl.
No, we had a lot of fun.
No, I'm not doubting that you had fun.
Yeah.
I'm doubting if
I hear you, and when you say that was sad, but I don't think it was. I think a lot of us were doing that. But you want to hear what's crazy? I don't know for sure, because I was a bit of a goody two goody two shoes. So Sherry couldn't divulge everything to me, but I think at one point, because maybe I think she was worried that I would like rat us out,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't, but I understand her, thinking there. And I think she like told him like, hey, I'm actually a 15-year-old, 16-year-old.
How old was he?
He was like probably like early 20s.
Oh my god.
And I think he could have been on a show with Chris Hansen based on his he was okay with it.
Once he found out it was a 15-year-old girl?
Yeah, he was kind of like, yeah, but I mean, like, we got to know each other a lot, and I think they like continued to speak a little bit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then that guy became Crystalia.
Nah. Yeah. So, anyways, that was that we went on an AIM tangent. Yeah, we could have extensive conversations about AIM, but yeah. So, freshman year of high school was when I was like, oh, I have to stop trick or treating. So yeah, 13 years old is when you stop trick or treating.
I would guess so.
Were you a you were probably like really into the candy. Like I treated getting the free candy as like my fucking job. I was like, we have to go to every house. Like it was free.
No, because also it sounds like you weren't from a truly fat family.
No,
like I'm from a fat family.
Okay.
There was candy already available.
There was always candy, but like this was my candy that I had to work for.
I didn't have that entrepreneurial sense of candy.
Go get 'emness.
Right, I'm like
Stop.
Come on, dude. I know you want candy. I hear you. No, to me it was like we got it at home.
Oh, okay.
But I'll walk around, I get it. I was more like, I get what we're trying to do here. We have some community.
I thought you would have been a big Halloween candy guy.
My mom would just buy it all. Like, my mom would buy it probably like around, what's today, the 16th?
Yeah.
So my mom would probably buy it now, and then we just eat it for 2 weeks. Then we put it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've been doing this.
Totally.
I've been doing this for weeks, guys.
Yeah.
Not to brag.
I kind of got this covered.
You know how many Reese's pumpkins I've had in the past 2 weeks?
I think the pumpkin's my favorite Reese's.
That's because it is the best Reese's.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, people try to say the egg. No.
Get the egg right out of my face.
Out of my face. It's the pumpkin.
You ready for this? The Christmas tree is better than the egg.
Ooh. You are so right about that.
Yes.
You are so right about that.
The Reese's Christmas tree is the unsung hero. That's the offensive line.
Yeah.
Of Reese's treats.
Absolutely. God, I love seasonal treats.
I love a Christmas cookie. You like a Malamar?
I love a Malamar.
It is peak Malamar season.
It is. I feel like our area, like the tri-state area, knows Malamars and other places don't.
Because I didn't know this. It's only here.
It's only here.
I thought it was nationwide.
And I only I feel like I would only get, now you can only get a Malamar if you go to a Cracker Barrel.
That's not true.
Where do you get yours?
My parents have them at home, so they gotta have
really?
them at ShopRite.
I feel like I don't see them.
Can we talk about Cracker Barrel?
So good.
I love Cracker Barrel.
I love Cracker Barrel.
You went to Disney? Did you go?
Yeah.
There's the one right by Disney.
No, because if we were going to Disney, it was going to be the full Disney experience. We were not straying from the Disney. Also, can I tell you?
Fill me in.
So Disney is an expensive endeavor.
Yes.
And my mom wanted it to be a magical experience for us. I was probably in like fourth grade. And we stayed at like the Pop Century Resort of Disney.
What the music themed one?
They had like a music theme. They had like a movie themed,
yes.
a sports theme.
I stayed there as well.
We're trash.
Oh, trash.
And you want to know how I found out we were trash
Fill
for
me
that?
in.
So my senior year of high school, they do a trip, and every year it's to Disney.
Okay.
And so we were on the Disney trip, and I was like, oh, we're staying at like Pop Century. And my friend was like, I know, this place is such trash. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, this is like the motel of Disney. And I was like, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, fuck. Like, that's where my family stays. Like, I didn't realize that, like, you should be staying at like the fucking. There's like the nice upscale.
There's like some dolphin one.
There's like
my
a
buddy would stay
the
at.
dolphin. Yes, my cousins would stay there. The
Yeah.
ritzy ones.
That's nice.
Yeah, and we would go visit them there. Like,
You ready
little-
for this? I truly didn't know the difference between a motel and a hotel until I was in high school.
I get no, and I am in the same boat.
I didn't stay in a hotel until I traveled with my high school.
You know
and I was
how?
like, why are these rooms indoors?
Yeah, no. You know how for comedy it's like, oh, these shitty places that we've stayed. I'm like, I promise you, I've stayed in shittier.
I can guarantee I've stayed at shittier.
100%. 100%.
But I was
I've
also
stayed at
like, I
shittier.
can't drive up to my door. What the hell is this?
I know.
I can't. I gotta go inside, take an elevator.
Yeah.
You know what I could do at the Choice Motel in Lake George?
Yeah.
Drive right up.
You ever stayed at a Red Roof Inn?
I don't think I stayed at a Red Roof Inn, but I have stayed at any other type of inn.
I don't know if I'm not going to say it on YouTube. I'll tell you after what my dad would call them.
Yes, good idea. I just stayed. My sister had her engagement party, and her fiance's from Pennsylvania,
Okay.
Bucks County. Shout out to it.
Oh, Allentown.
Churchville is where he's from.
Okay,
if that
okay.
means anything to anyone. And we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents are very. Whenever there's a free breakfast,
Oh, the continental breakfast.
we must make the And I
You're
sat
not allowed
there.
to sleep through it.
You can't sleep through it. And I was sitting there like, guys, what? Like there are people here with open wounds. What are we doing here?
Literally.
Like I'll buy breakfast. I will
Yeah.
buy breakfast for all of us.
No,
including the people here.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Like I said, my mom has her doctorate. They're like, the kids are on their own. Like they just have to worry. My mom just has to worry about her and my dad. And she still loses her fucking mind over a continental breakfast and like has to get down there and has to like
Yes.
utilize it and, take an apple for the road.
You know what they love? You know what boomers love with a continental breakfast?
Sure.
They love critiquing every part of the breakfast
Oh,
afterwards.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what did you think of the eggs?
Yeah.
I didn't like the eggs, but I liked the bacon. Did you like the bacon? The sausage was a little dry, and you're like, who gives a... Shut up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Garbage.
I just not recently, but I guess recently in the last few years, my mom and I did a trip together. And like when my mom and I we went to California together, she's not looking at the menu being like, "Oh, this is expensive." Like, no, I don't even hear about the price. Like I don't look at the bill, she covers everything. But there's still the little things that like it's just the boomers, it's built into them because it was like, kind of, how everything was fucked up with COVID. Like once we got back into the swing of things, continental breakfast was one of those things.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I know what you mean.
Besmirched the name of continental breakfast was, COVID really fucked that up. And my mom was so upset. She's like, I chose this hotel because they have continental breakfast.
What hotel? Do you remember?
It was some shitty whatever. And I'm like, I'm not saying that disparagingly. Like it's just a whatever hotel room. Like we don't need fancy things. We just don't need it.
Right. The room... Well... Yeah, I need a nice breakfast. Well, I don't even need a nice breakfast. I need to not... Okay. I'm trying to not sound pretentious here.
No, here, say it in that it's true to you, in the way that's true to you.
A way that's true to me? I'm better than these people.
It's like I'm talking to my brother, literally.
I can't be at a place where there's more than 5 Looney Tunes sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Boomers love Looney Tunes sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Crew neck Looney Tunes sweatshirts. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I don't work hard to be surrounded by Looney Tunes sweatshirts.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying.
I don't think it's a critique. I don't think I'm bragging about myself as much as I am condemning these people.
Right. No, yeah.
I'm normal.
That's what it is. Yes. Your baseline is that you're normal.
Right.
And the Looney Tunes sweatshirt is just on the side of trash that you just have transcended.
Exactly.
There you go.
I had a friend. I went to a wedding, got married at a very ritzy wedding out east, like in the Hamptons. I had another buddy that flew in from the south of France from another wedding.
Whoa.
And my parents asked me where I get off.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
I just know, because these are my friends.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're better than us?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
your friends go to the south of France? I was like, I didn't say
Yeah.
anything. I'm just going to a wedding. I'm taking a train.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. Like I went to Australia for my boss's wedding and I went alone And my dad was like, what'd that run you? Like,
They love to ask you what it runs.
don't worry about what it ran
They
me.
love to ask.
Capital One Credit knows what it ran me. Like, don't worry about it.
Oh, speaking of Capital One Credit, boomers hate using credit cards.
Hate.
They don't understand.
My
why
dad told me my credit cards are going to ruin my life. And he's not completely wrong.
Oh,
but
okay, well, it's not as much the credit card as it is our spending habits.
yeah.
But they can't understand why people don't use tangible cash.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know how there's like establishments that are like where credit on, like if you go to City Field,
Yes.
it's like my dad it just sends him. He's not like a conspiracy theory guy, but like that's one of those things where it's like they're trying to take over everything. Like you know, like he gets like a little Alex Jonesy about the no cash thing. He's like, what do you mean they're going to control everything if we can't give cash?
And you're like, yeah, but how? And they're
Yeah.
like, how?
How?
How? This kid's a lib.
I can't take a $5 bill to pay for a fucking hot dog, and it's like, and the hot dog's more than $5, and it's just like, but I kind of hear him.
just use the card.
No,
There's no benefit to not using a card anymore. You get the points. You have the money in the account.
No, it makes perfect sense. Do you know that when I went to college, I bought myself a Mac for college?
Okay.
I paid for that fucking thing in cash.
You could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very old-fashioned sentence.
In 2010.
You could pay for a Mac in cash.
In 2010, I handed $1,000 to the guy at Apple. He thought I was fucking crazy. Like, why wouldn't I give him a card? But I didn't know. I paid for everything in cash.
Because we were raised by garbage.
Literally.
Garbage. This is also, so back to the grandparents. Like my grandfather is illiterate. He has a second grade education. Doesn't know how to read or handle money or anything. He has a bank account, but he keeps most of his cash in his suit.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Yep. And now he has, not diagnosed, he has Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't remember where he puts the money.
The
But it's
fact-
always in the suit.
The fact that it's not diagnosed
Oh.
is so telling of where you come from.
Yeah. Have you ever got a call from your illiterate Alzheimer grandfather saying he got something in the mail and he needs to tell you what it is? I was like, this is true. He's like, this is what it says. SHOES. Like it says shoes.
Shoes?
He's like, yes. I was like, what else does it say? He said, nothing. It's like, so you got a piece of paper mailed to you and all it says is shoes. And he said, yes.
You were like, did you tell grandma? Like,
Oh, no, she's dead.
Oh.
She lived in a mental institution. She was a schizophrenic. Well, I got
Whoa.
stories, Kel.
what is with Long Island and the schizophrenics?
This is Queens.
Yeah, Queens.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You ever were raised by a literate and a schizophrenic?
Yeah, literally.
You'll start doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, truly. Oh man, that's so funny. Damn.
They were fat, too. You want a very fat thing from them?
Yeah.
Are you aware of what Entenmann's is?
Don't talk to me about Entenmann's. Yes, I know what Entenmann's is.
I thought you would. Are you aware of what an outlet store is?
Please. Of course.
Okay. There is an Entenmann's outlet
Shut the fuck up. No, there's not.
in Queens. It's not there anymore. But there was one in Queens.
Entenmann's out.
And we would go to the Entenmann's outlet where everything was expired or freezer burnt.
Yeah.
And I would eat boxes of freezer burnt / expired cookies.
I'm so glad my family did not know
years.
about this.
Yes. Have you ever had a freezer burnt coffee cake?
It's probably amazing.
It tastes like sand. But you don't know. You don't know
Yeah.
until you had a fresh one and you're like, what
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah. No, I didn't have freezer burnt, but anytime Entenmann's was on sale, it was in the house. And for some reason, I thought it was like a rule that you can't eat Entenmann's on a plate with a fork. Because it just always was like you cut a hunk of the cake off and you just have it in your hand and you eat it. Like you don't need a fork for Entenmann's.
This was an Entenmann's specific rule?
Entenmann's specific.
I want to make fun of you, but I think you're right.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen someone eat Entenmann's not just with their hand.
Exactly.
Butter knife to cut the cake.
Butter knife.
Take it with your hand and eat it.
And you leave the butter knife in the cake.
There's no other way to do this.
Thank you.
You're 100% correct.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
What's the best Entenmann's cake? There is a right answer.
Okay. All right. I know there is a right answer. And I kind of oscillate, but gun to my head right now.
Oscillate's a big word for this.
Because I do. Like, I love the crumb cake. I love the cookies. Like, I love all that.
Yep.
For me,
Okay.
it's devil chocolate cake with the marshmallow frosting.
Wow. Okay. Not what I thought you were going to say.
What do you think I was going to say?
Well, that's not the right answer.
I can't believe it.
But also I wasn't. God, the devil food cake, really?
Yeah, but the marshmallow, it's the marshmallow frosting.
I'm aware of the devil food cake with the marshmallow frosting. Had many expired. The correct answer we're looking for, Kelly, is the raspberry Danish.
Oh, see, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
Get a. We'll do it for the Patreon.
We were in a big fruit, and fruit wasn't a dessert in my family.
Oh, see, the raspberry Entenmann's, that was fruit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got
Yes.
it. That was breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially the next day afterwards.
Yeah.
Coffee. Raspberry Danish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gosh.
Entenmann's played a huge role in my life. That was a part of the Chinese dinner on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely.
Then you had some Entenmann's.
Oh, you had some Entenmann's with some Dunkin' coffee.
Oh, no. We were a Maxwell House.
Oh, yeah, Maxwell House, yeah.
Was,
but when we wanted to splurge, it was, you got to get the
the Dunkin'
coffee.
The K-Cups?
No. Like, go to Dunkin' and get a coffee. Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. Go through the drive-thru. Absolutely. But yeah, Maxwell House and Folgers, whatever coffee was, like their coffee grounds, whatever was on sale.
Yes.
But my parents are, progressive in that, they were comfortable moving from a normal coffee maker to a Keurig. Like they're able to make those sorts of changes, like, like putting a Ring doorbell on the house. That was a big step.
Did they use Ring? Like the actual?
I think it's Ring, yeah.
Because my parents got a knockoff. Again, no brand names in the house.
Yeah.
But my dad watches that like he watches Fox News.
Which is all day.
Which is exclusively when he
which is
watches.
literally all day. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh gosh, that is so great. I love talking to you.
Yeah, this is a good time. It's good. It's like when a dog sees another dog.
Yeah. It's therapeutic.
Like, I know you.
Yeah. It's like we're from the same like Knights of Columbus. Like we just.
That's very garbage. Yeah. Was your family a part of one of those, like a moose club? Or Elks Lodge is what I'm thinking.
Like Elks Lodge. Yeah. No, my parents weren't, but like I'm pretty sure like my grandparents were like, maybe not when I was a kid, but like when like my parents were kids.
We're a part of something
like that.
Gotcha.
But my Sweet 16 was at a VFW.
That's garbage.
But like that's how I wanted it, because that's all I fucking knew.
All you knew.
And like the idea, because like I watched like my Super Sweet 16 at the time of me being 15, 16 years old, and I remember watching the television and being like, what a waste of money. like that was my thought as a kid.
Yes.
Because like that's just all you know.
Right. Let's get
Yeah.
catering from the pizza place down the block.
Yeah.
Let's get the VFW hall.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I remember anytime there would be anybody in my family, like an older cousin or something, get married, and they would do like the all out like Jersey wedding.
Yes.
I remember my grandpa like always having a comment of like, your mother and father got married had the reception at the firehouse and had a sheet cake as their wedding cake, as if it's like some badge of honor that's what they did. It's like, because you had nothing and that's what you had to do.
You could also buy a house at Sears back then.
Literally, yeah.
Literally. What, are we just comparing things?
Yeah, totally. And you still managed to lose that. So,
Yes, I love terrible decisions by old people.
Oh, yeah.
When they were young.
And they're the ones that like tell you what you need to be doing.
Yeah. They're like, why don't you buy a house? Because they're not 82K anymore.
Yeah, literally. Like I was telling my mom, like just like what the rent situation is like. And I'm like, I don't know. We're lucky if we can find something for like 25. Like lucky if we can find that. And my mom's like, well, why don't you look into buying? Because that's starting to sound like a mortgage. And I'm like, oh, honey, I just wish you knew what the state of the situation was like right now. Like, no. I hear you, though. It would be nice to have a mortgage for $2,500, but that's not what it is.
My ex, the redhead bitch that wore white to May's wedding.
See, that is how girls are mean.
Wait, wait, what?
So you know how in the beginning of the podcast we were talking about how
Yes.
like girls are better bullies?
We're callback.
Yeah. Like I actually thought of this. Like your ex wearing a white fur to your friend's wedding is a bitch move.
Well, she was a bitch.
Well,
It's a bitch. She's alive, I think.
sorry, what you were
What was I
saying.
saying? Oh, because she like, I'm trash, but she's fucking trash.
Yeah.
Like, uncultured trash. At least I grew up with, Indian and Asian kids.
Yeah.
I know
absolutely.
a little bit something about the world.
Yeah. Thank God for those people, can I say?
Thank God.
Thank God for them.
I know. If you didn't have Indian friends growing up, you never ate Domino's pizza. Indian friends introduce you to Domino's pizza. And shout out to 'em.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But she, like all of us, we all rent. And she's 30 and still lives with her parents, so she doesn't understand how things work. So she's like,
weird.
well, I don't know if you just buy why does no one just buy an apartment? And I was like, do you not know how anything works?
Yeah, it's because we all like haven't won the lottery.
Right. Like, you have to put 20% down?
Yeah.
She's like, no, you could just put 5% and then like refinance. I was like, no, this isn't bumfuck
Yeah, no.
upstate New York.
No.
That's not how this works.
Also, do you know what 5% of a few million is? Like,
She doesn't. She's like, my parents could buy a place and then we could rent it from them. I'm like, your parents don't make money.
yeah,
But they can't afford the house they live in. Nevertheless, a New York City apartment.
right.
Garbage. What were we? I forgot. What
I
we were
forget.
saying right
We
before that.
got completely off
We've been
track.
all over the road.
We really
folks.
have been, but I don't know. I think it's great, and I think people that grew up like that will get it. I remember like going to friends' houses that like I talk to my friends now, and it's like, we probably were like, I considered myself like middle class, and then I got to college, and then I realized, oh, I'm first generation college. Like, oh, I'm like low, and I looked at those friends' houses being like, gosh, like Allison's house is like so clean. like
Your college friends?
my high school friends.
High school. I was gonna say because you went to a bad college too.
Yeah, I went to. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My friends were even trashier from the college. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Even, and it's so funny because my one friend Judy, we're still like dear friends to this day. Like when she first met me, she like thought that I was some like hoity-toity rich girl, and then she took me home and dropped me off and like saw how small my house was and was like, oh,
So you eat
I
Entenmann's
misread
with
this.
your hands.
Yeah. Literally, I'm eating Entenmann's
She's
with
like,
my
what
hands,
the fuck's going on here?
like hunched over the garbage.
No, my high school friends, again, very wealthy town, huge houses, parents make millions. Well, again, callback, our parents kind of trying to justify their decisions.
Yeah.
Whenever they would pick me up and we were driving away, first question they would ask, how was it?
Yeah.
And then immediately after you answered would say, people don't live like this, right?
Oh my god.
This isn't reality.
Damn.
And I'd be like, what?
I thought you were going to say, what do their parents do for a living?
No, they're like, no, because in their head they're criminals.
Oh.
That's the only way you can afford a house this big
Yeah.
is if you do it illegally.
Damn, that's so funny.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Even now, like I do software sales during the day. I tell my parents my salary. They're like, no, you don't.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's not true. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're like, you don't make that.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's like, well, this is why you should have gotten into sales because you do make that much money in
You
sales.
should just, or just like believe me.
Yeah.
Or just look at a W-2.
Yeah, literally. Oh my god, so funny. Like I remember out of college, I was a 1099.
Yes.
I might as well have been unemployed in my parents' eyes. Like they were like, "What? What do you mean?"
They can't understand that.
Like they don't take your taxes out. Like that's gonna be a mess. And they were right, but like,
there's some things trash is right about.
oh yeah. I mean, it's all set up in their minds like that, and they teach us that it's all to protect us from life's unknowns.
Yes.
That's what it is. Like, if you are a teacher, you have this set amount and you get off for this set amount of time, and it's just all very like normal and consistent and safe.
It's predictable. Everything's
Everything's predictable. Yeah.
Because the biggest fear to the working class is risk.
Absolutely.
They hate risk.
Because a fender bender is 1 foot closer to bankruptcy than they were to yesterday.
Yes.
And bankruptcy is never that far away. when you're working class.
No.
You're one bad fall away from, having to sell the camper that you spent years.
No, you're not, because you got great health insurance.
Yeah, great.
Through the state.
Yeah, the benefits. Yep.
Fantastic benefits. That's why
Yeah.
they'll break their hip. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. My grandma's like in her 80s and still works for the Middlesex County Courthouse. And I literally think it's because she's afraid of losing the benefits.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
And she said we're going to be fucked at 80, but her,
I know.
she's great.
Yeah. But I'm so glad that like we didn't listen to our parents when it comes to like find yourself a job that you can get locked into for 40 years and then you'll, retire when you're 65 and you'll have your pension. Like I'm so glad that even as a kid, as a teenager, I was like, fuck a pension. That's not going to be there for me when I'm older. Like
You knew that.
I just knew. I just was like, that's not something that's going to be available to me. And I'm glad that I listened to my instinct.
That's right. You out trash the trash.
Yeah. I know better.
One thing what I was talking to my parents about is because they think living in the city is the dumbest thing a human being could possibly do.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever leave.
Yeah, right.
So my mom's like, when are you gonna come back? When are you gonna get a house?
Yeah.
When are you gonna do all this? I was
Yeah.
like, this is I live a pretty exciting life compared to the average person.
Yeah.
I was like,
Our lives are awesome.
our lives are very fun.
Yeah.
Maybe irresponsible, but nevertheless fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I could ever live in the suburbs, like ever again. There's nothing to do here.
Yeah.
And my mom, 100% serious, was like, what are you talking about? We got Little League. With just the straightest face. And I was like, oh, yeah, we have two different definitions of
Two different
fun.
definitions of fun. Yeah. And my parents don't drink.
Your parents don't drink?
No.
Really?
They drink too much and had to stop.
Irish Catholics that don't drink?
Well, you start young and you stop young.
Oh, so they did drink.
Well, yeah, not both of them, but yeah. Yeah. Neither drink at this point.
Gotcha.
And
That's got to be exhausting going home.
yeah, dude.
Can you keep, like, how should I ask this question? If you go home, could you get, like, bottles of wine to keep home?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, because I've tried it in the past, being like, well, it's been decades since either of them have drank. Like, I can keep a bottle of wine. Nope, get yelled at for it.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of their problem.
Yeah. They're like, no, you can't be doing that. It's inconsiderate to us. And my mom is like really against it. She's like, no, like it's not allowed. They also look at drinking as like the trashiest thing you can do. Like it's the lowest of low. Like.
Interesting.
They have a moral superiority to it, which not my thing, but I can kind of get where they're coming from when it comes to that, because like it's a lot easier to find examples of like the shittiest people that they know who abuse alcohol. Like, it's like,
Yes.
I'm not saying obviously I drink, like I'm not saying that, I'm a derelict, but like when you want to find it, it's like, and also like, my grandpa with the whole like,
Right.
he being an alcoholic and stuff, it was just like, I don't know. But I think it definitely, like for my grandparents on my dad's side, like they don't drink either, but like that's like a moral superiority thing.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I guess to them, when they think of drunk, they think of like grad party and the backyard drunk.
Yeah, keg stands.
Keg stands and like Jello shots,
Yeah.
and then getting into a car and crashing it.
Yeah. And because you know how like when we were in college, for some reason, like our way of decorating stuff would be like to take the bottles that we drank and
Yes.
keep them like trophies.
Yes.
That was just what we did. I don't know why we did that, but that's what we did.
Because it's pretty cool.
Because it's pretty cool. It
That's
was
why.
pretty cool.
Why did we do it? Because it's sick.
Yeah. So I just was like, these are my little trophies. Like, so I like kind of decorated my room at home with like the bottles.
That you can't do that.
That's
Kelly.
what I did.
Yo, that's garbage.
Yeah. And my mom was just like, is she an alcoholic already? Like she didn't get what I was doing. And I didn't get that what I was doing was the lamest shit ever.
I mean, I'm not going to agree with your parents on most things we've said today.
Right.
That one I'm going to agree with your parents
Well,
on.
because I just...
That's weird.
But I just didn't know.
Yeah, it's not that you're an alcoholic. It's just that you have no interior design taste.
Well, also I had this like I'm not going to argue that. I had a hot pink room with like zebra stripes everywhere, like every girl in 2010.
Yeah,
Like,
it was very common.
yeah. But like when it came to the bottles as trophies thing, like I remember like looking at that bottle of Smirnoff and being like, oh, that was the night that we went to the Pike House. Like I had like memories attached to them.
Okay.
And
You're not helping yourself.
No. It was a really weird like hoarder situation.
Interesting.
Hoarder. That's how I would describe it. Because I look back, even in like this, like this apartment looks like there's a lot of stuff. This is half the stuff that I had. Like hoarder situation.
Like before Joe moved in or before?
Like before, yeah, like I guess before Joe moved in, like I just had so much stuff.
Huh.
So much stuff. And I think it's just because like I held on to it and I hoarded it. If you go to my parents' basement, same thing. Literally, they have so much stuff that has not seen the light of day. If I were to take someone in there and like clean it the fuck up, my dad would be like, well, what'd you do with this? What'd you do with this? What'd you do with that?
Yep. Let me ask you a question. We're talking way more about being trash than being fat here.
That's fine.
But again, kind of parallel.
Yeah.
If I go into your parents' basement right now, will there be clothes that are categorized by eras in your life?
So clothes, we have bins
Yes.
of stuff. We have half of the basement. We have the finished side and the unfinished side.
Garbage.
Okay, so it's not a full finish.
I've never heard of a half
It's
finished
a half
basement.
finished. It's a half
That's
finished.
garbage.
Yeah. So the unfinished side is like where the laundry room is, and on the like that's the same side where there's the bins of stuff.
Yes.
Where it's like jackets from the 90s and like,
Okay.
It's like clothes of eras, yeah, and like also like my little brother's play pen from when we were kids.
Oh,
like,
wow, they really hoarded.
Like, why do we? It's like almost organized hoarding. It's
Interesting.
like, why do we have this? And then the other half of the basement is my dad's pseudo man cave
Okay.
and his whole train set area.
Oh, he's autistic.
Yeah, he's autistic. He collects model trains.
Collects model trains.
Yeah.
My cousin does that.
Yeah, autistic.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, super into him, too.
But so, like, I'm like, I'm wondering, like, why do my parents get down on me for all this stuff? Like, why are they afraid of me working a private sector job? It's like, because, like, everything is just the way that they know it. Like, are they a boomer or are they just autistic?
Yes. Or yes.
Yes.
Are they a boomer? Are they autistic? Or yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that.
Okay, that's very interesting.
I don't know. I don't even know how we got here.
But
yeah,
I ate 5 waffles for breakfast every morning.
With sugar-free syrup.
With sugar-reduced syrup, not sugar-free.
Sugar-reduced.
Sugar-reduced.
Oh, my gosh. I think we went well over an hour.
Did we?
Let's see.
What are we doing? Oh, hour and a half.
Oh, shit. We did it.
We did it.
And I could still go. Like, I could go all night.
Whatever you want to do. I'm following your lead.
No. We'll shut it down. We'll shut it down.
We're shutting it down, folks.
Where can people find you?
Kelly, where can they find me? Well, if they're in defeat, they already know where. The Happel Hour podcast. Throw that in your ass. Rich Happel Comedy on all social platforms. And Patreon coming out soon.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm very excited about.
Yes, I really enjoyed your podcast. I did it over a year ago at this point.
I know, I got to have you back on.
Yeah. Go back and find my episode, dear listeners, and I'll tell you all about how I found out that saving bagels in your freezer is an inappropriate thing to do.
Yeah, you would think a human being should know that. Kelly did it.
I didn't know that. Check out the Happel Hour podcast and also check out Stone Street Comedy.
Oh, yeah, I run a show, too, Stone Street Comedy.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yep.
It's every Friday. Kelly and Joe do it all the time.
Yeah, and it's so fun.
It's
for
some
a great
reason,
room.
Yeah, we made a great show.
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's great. So check that out, guys. All of the information will be in the show notes in the description, so you can check that out there. And yeah, Bubs, you have anything you want to say? No, he just wants to drool on me.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I hope you have a great night. I'll talk to you next Friday. Bye.
Adios.